Welcome back to Rejig and Redo, where I try to make bad things better and old things new. Remember this wooden window frame that I rebuilt 4 years ago using Ronseal Wood Filler? Well, today we're going to go back and have a look and see if it lasted. And we can check and see if Ronseal really does what it says on the tin. But first, a quick recap. This footage was filmed back in 2021, and as you can see, this window was in desperate need of repair. So I got to work and I treated the remaining wood with Ronseal Wet Rot Wood Hardener, then proceeded to rebuild it using Ronseal Wood Filler. Now it's probably a good time to mention that I'm not getting any sponsorship for this video, but Ronseal, if you're watching, I do love your products. So please feel free to get in touch. In my opinion, Ronseal Filler is amazing stuff. It's actually really nice to work with. It dries quickly and you get a beautiful finish on it when you sand it down. And it's good to remember when using any type of filler, it's always best to do it in reasonably thin layers. Let it cure and then come back and go over it a second time or as many times as you need to. I started by building up the filler bit by bit, and once I was happy with it, I sanded it down using my faithful old mouse sander, and I cleaned it up a bit before painting, making sure I removed all the dust. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, did it last? Can Ronseal Wood Filler really be that good? Can it really withstand the weather we get here in the UK? Well, stay tuned because all will be revealed. Once I'd given it a couple of coats of primer and undercoat and 2 coats of exterior gloss, it was almost as good as new. Now, I don't want to keep you in suspense, so here's the bit you've been waiting for. Ta-da! This is what it looked like when I returned 4 years later. It's lasted so much better than I could have imagined. There was one crack in the filler, but that's not surprising because these things tend to expand and contract, depending on the weather. So, another quick repair needed. Using some more Ronseal Wood Filler, I gave the window frame a thin coat, focusing on any gaps that needed doing. Once I was happy with the result, it was time to sand it down again. And then I cleaned it up and got back to the painting. I like using Rustins primer and undercoat. It's a 2-in-1, it's water soluble when it's wet, and it dries in 2 hours. And no, I'm not getting sponsored by Rustins either, but it would be brilliant if they got in touch. I use their products a lot. And here we are, the finished article. I tidied up my messy painting by scraping the paint off the glass, and I applied some sealant all the way around the window to finish it off and protect it. I'm actually pretty happy with the way it turned out, and I'm confident it'll last a few more years. In fact, I think it looks a little bit better than the first time I did it. So, there we have it. Another long-term, temporary repair. Drop me a comment and let me know what you think of Ronseal. Would you rebuild wood to this extent? Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share if you want to see more content from Rejig and Redo, where I try to make bad things better and old things new.